George Clinton, part 3.
The first song sessions that I can recall paying for and doing would have been with Frankie and Richard Boyce, the Boyce brothers. They was like our first band, and we went over to New York and we did a song called "You Won't Say Nothing." You won't say yes, you won't say nothing, and another called "Accidental Love." Those would have been the first sessions I remember that we were able to, like, from the profits from the 20s, pay the studio like 5 times as much as the studio would cost. We was doo-wopping at that particular time. Love songs, crying, I'm on my bending knees to the ladies, and, that whole trip. And the fast songs was, with the bow, 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 bow. We was part of that generation. But then when Motown came around by 1959, Smokey was the hero. He was writing songs for the Miracles and the Temptations and Marvin Gaye. So right away, he was my hero. I wanted to do that. We drove from Jersey out to Motown to audition. About 6 of us in a Bonneville Pontiac. We drove out there, got there about 6:30 in the morning before the building opened up, and everybody was asleep in the car on each other. It's all over each other. It was packed. And by 8:30, 9 o'clock, when the building opened up, it was like being out at your high school, opening day. Everybody out on the lawn, and you recognizing these people from, they're stars. That's Little Stevie Wonder. That's Temptation. That's right when they had their Motown Review was going around the world. So they all was there early this morning, and we looking at the cars like little kids. So, that blew our mind. Detroit was the best place in the world to be. If you were looking for your heroes, they was all within that one block. They was just becoming famous themselves. So we caught them right at that time. And ourselves, after we auditioned, they told us we were all right. We did one of the Contour songs. And they said we need to get our own songs. But it really was, we wasn't 6 feet. That was the criteria. The Temptations was all 6 feet. They was wanting to judge everybody by the Temptations standard at that time because they were so cool. We looked like a ladder. We had cool. I mean, we was cool with our steps and everything, but it just wasn't that same kind of cool. And we didn't look like we could be what they call charm schooled. And so we just got funky. Give us an excuse to really not be charmful, but to be funny, like the Coasters. We started wearing diapers, everything that was anti-charm, because we saw it coming. The culture was definitely changing. You saw that even on the West Coast, Haight-Ashbury, look, you could tell that was taking over the charts too.
The hippies.
The psychedelic era was coming in. And the places we played would always be Emerson, Lake and Palmer, going to be King Crimson, Vanilla Fudge coming in behind us. They let us play out of their amps. And we heard what it sounded like to play out of those giant Marshall amps. And I saw Led Zeppelin in Boston at the Tea Party. And that was like, okay, I knew what we got to do. We went into a costume store in Boston, got all kind of costumes. We went to Manny's in New York, got all kind of amps. So when they saw us at the Sugar Shack, they thought we weren't the Parliaments that they had hired. They had hired us for the suits. So they didn't want us to play because you don't look like Parliament. So we told them if we didn't work out, you didn't have to pay us. We ended up staying there for a month. Funkadelic was in effect. It was time to blow your mind, trip out. And we was tripping. This is the time when the whole Harvard experiment, the LSD thing was going on. Timothy Leary situation was happening. It was right in the midst of that, being out in the Boston Common. Kids at the Sugar Shack, they gave us acid. I mean, we were square. What I can remember, it was beautiful to see Billy smiling, to see Fuzzy happy. Those two things made us all take it. because you never experienced a laughing Billy. Fuzzy, yeah, he was a clown, but this was an honest laugh and smile. And that, I think we all just took, and probably tripped for a week. That's when we got all the costumes and cut my hair, the mohawk in it, and went crazy.
Wow. So what I take away from that is George, they were like, let's do it. He was working, selling, he was making money, he was surviving. He could have survived that, but he took a big risk and moved all the way to audition for Motown. And it was amazing. It worked out for him. And people do that today. I know some artists who are like, I can't afford a producer to do my beats, so I'm learning the beats myself. But I'm also working a job. I'm driving Uber. I'm doing this, and I'm delivering food for people. But at the same time, I am also pursuing my career and investing in myself. So like, if you don't have enough money to do 4 or 5 songs with a producer, save up enough money, even take 6 months to a year, save up enough money to get one song done and release that song. Today, yes, it's pretty expensive, but I mean, look at him. And I think another thing was, he said, we saw the psychedelic time coming. They didn't hire us or sign us because we were anti-charm, and the Temptations were cool, they were tall, and they were dressed neat. But the psychedelic era was coming. They hate Ashbury and San Francisco. I know San Francisco and the Bay Area. That's where I'm from. Sly Stone is from there. That's my cousin. He's told me some stories, and I will divulge some of them stories. Man, this is great. This is great. We have to pay attention to the streets and see what's going on, and that's what I take from this. What's up with part 4?